welcome back to my channel again. In today's video I want to make some cheese, mozzarella cheese, see how it turns out. I went to the store and picked up a gallon of milk, homogenized 3% milk. So I'm going to add it to my bowl here. And we'll get it ready. I'm going to get the granite ready and also the citric acid. That's the next step. Here I picked up some citric acid from PV Mart. I bought a pack or a kit to make cheese. And this is the citric acid. In my case, I'm going to use 1.5 teaspoons of citric acid, and I mix it to 50 milliliters of water, or milliliters of water. So we'll add it in here and then let it dissolve a little bit, and then we'll add it to the milk. Now that the citric acid is dissolved, I'm going to add it to the milk here. And I'm going to stir it, make sure that it's stirred in. Now I'm going to put it on the stove and heat it up to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Now I'm going to heat it up, not too high because you might burn the milk if you go too high. When you start mixing the milk, because if you don't, you burn it sometimes and you don't want to burn your milk. Now you will have to continue to stir till it's about 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and then we'll take it off the heat. Yeah, we added the citric acid, and now it's at 100 degrees as you can see, and now it's separating, you see? Now it's separated in front of our eyes. Look at this, how beautiful. Now I took it off the heat. Now we'll let it sit for 10 minutes and then we'll do the rest of the process. The one thing you probably have noticed is we use stainless steel because you don't want anything else but stainless steel to make sure that you don't get all kinds of oxidized stuff in your cheese. What I'm doing right now while I'm waiting for the milk to cool off a little bit, I'm going to heat up water to 175 degrees. That's the next step. We'll get it hot and then we'll go from there. Now that's been sitting for 10 minutes, as you can see, look at the curds. They're nicely separated. Look at this. I know some people cut it in chunks, 1 inch. I don't normally, I just leave it this way. I find it works just as well. So the next step is going to be, I'm going to put it in a colander now. Now spoon it out. This is a simple way of making cheese, and you can do it half an hour. It's usually all you need. Doesn't take long. Now we're going to start putting it into a ball, taking all the whey out. You take as much as possible out. Once that's done, then we'll put it in the hot water. Let it sit in the hot water for a few minutes. This is the fun part. Squeeze it and take all the liquid out. Now that I got the water hot, now I'm going to add these cheese balls to the water and let them sit here for a few minutes. The water is hot right now. It's probably about 175 degrees Fahrenheit, so we'll let these balls sit in there for a few minutes. Okay, now I'm going to start the process over again. The reason you do it so often is you want to make sure that you can stretch it. If it's not hot enough, it won't stretch. You want to make sure, and the whey, you want to make sure that all the whey gets out. You need to work it. You can see now it's starting to stretch. I find it's very hot at 175 degrees, so I prefer to use a spoon. But as you can see, this is what's coming out. So that you want to make sure that you get all the liquids out. Now I mix these two balls together, as you can see. Now we'll start squeezing them again. They're terribly hot, so I'm going to use a spoon for a bit. You can see how they stretch. At this point, I'm going to add salt. Salt is normally to taste. Not everybody wants salt. I do like a fair bit of salt, so I'll put some salt in here. I would say about half a teaspoon. Then you work it in again. Now we're almost done. Now we're pretty close. Now it's stretching very nicely, you can see. See? You can stretch it. It looks nice and shiny. So start turning it into a bowl. Look at this, how shiny. Now we'll put it away, let it sit for an hour, and we'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. Okay, now that it's been sitting for an hour, now I'll take it out, throw it on the plate here. This is what it looks like. That's the finished product. Now we'll cut it. Slice it up a little bit. See if we can. It's not the right knife, but this is what it looks like. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, out of curiosity, I'm going to throw it in the microwave to see if it actually melts like mozzarella. Cut it into chunks here. Now I'm going to throw it in the microwave. Now we're ready to make pizza. Look at this. I had it in there for probably about 15 seconds. That's how it melted. Look at that. Right gooey. Perfect. Turned out really well. I think you can't do it any better than this, the way it melted. Thanks for watching Life with Pete. If you like what you see, please subscribe.